Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a bull. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the head. An easy way to draw a circle is to first make a couple of small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make a couple more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then just connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. You don't have to draw a perfect circle, but if you're having trouble drawing one, just trace the outer edge of a coin, a bottle cap, or anything else with a circular edge. Inside the circle, near the bottom, draw a curved horizontal line. This is a construction guide that will help you place the facial features later. Near the right edge of the circle, draw a curved vertical line for another construction guide. Extend the bottom tip of this line down so that it's slightly outside of the circle. Make the bottom of the line straight and the top curved. Below the vertical construction guide, draw a small circle as a guide for the muzzle. This circle should be slightly to the right of the head. Make this circle about 1/3 the size of the head circle. Connect the circles using a couple of lines to create the guide for the jaw. Make the line on the left long and curved to create the jaw. On the sides of the head, draw small arcs as guides for the ears. Draw the ears above the horizontal construction guide. Above the ear on the right, draw a long curved line as a guide for the first horn. Curve the line upward at the tip. Above the ear on the left, draw another curved line as a guide for the other horn. Draw the line down toward the ear and then curve it back up. The line should cross itself near the middle. On the left side of the head, draw a big circle as a guide for the front part of the body. Use the small marks method to draw this circle as well. First, make a few small marks to indicate the sides of the circle, and then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Pay attention to how big this circle is in relation to the head. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video as you follow along to draw at your own pace. Farther to the left, draw a half circle as a guide for the back portion of the body. Make this shape small in relation to the front of the body. Under the front part of the body, on the left side, draw a long vertical line as a guide for the front leg. Tilt the line slightly and bend the bottom to indicate a joint. To the right, draw an angled line as a guide for the other front leg. Bend the line a couple of times to indicate the joints. Under the back portion of the body, draw another long vertical line as a guide for the hind leg. Tilt this line the opposite way of the front leg. To the right, draw an angled line as a guide for the other hind leg. Bend the line near the top to indicate a joint. On the left side of the body, draw a long wavy line as a guide for the tail. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye. Place the eye above the horizontal construction guide and about halfway between the vertical guide and the left ear. When you get the size and position of the eye right, darken the shape. Make the top of the eye flatter than the initial guide. Draw a curved line at the top for the eyelid. As you darken the shape, make the sides longer and pointier for the corners of the eye. Inside the eye, draw a short horizontal line for the pupil. Draw a couple of curved lines above the eye for the brow. Draw a few more lines for creases, but keep them close to the eye. Inside the muzzle, draw two small circular shapes for the nostrils. The nostrils should be similar to drops of water. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the lines when you get the shapes right. Make the nostril on the right slightly smaller because the head is turned. Draw a curved shape around the nostrils for the rest of the nose. Use wavy lines to draw the shape of the nose. The nose should be similar to a small rectangle that's made up of curved lines. On the left side, draw a sloping line for the side of the muzzle. Draw a curved line below the nose for the bottom lip. Add a couple of short lines on the top right side for the top of the muzzle. Use the long curved line on the top right side of the head as a guide to draw the first horn. Lightly sketch the shape of the horn around the guideline. Make the horn wide at the base and then gradually make it thinner toward the tip. When you get the shape of the horn right, darken the lines. Use the curved line on the left side as a guide to draw the other horn the same way. First, draw the tip of the horn. Then draw the rest of the horn, but don't overlap the tip. The base of the horn should be inside the head circle. The horn should curve to the left and then up. Darken the arcs on the sides of the head to create the ears. Add a few short strokes within the shapes for the ears openings. Darken the outer edges of the rest of the guides to create the shape of the head. Make the top of the head slightly taller than the initial guides. Use broken lines to create a furry texture. Darken the bottom left side of the guides. Below the head, draw a couple of short curved lines for the loose skin. Use the second line from the right that's under the body as a guide to draw the front leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Keep the edges of the leg close to the guideline so that the shape is thin. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Use wavy lines as you darken the shape to indicate the muscles. Near the middle, draw a curved shape for the joint. Make the area below the joint thin. At the bottom, draw a small square-like shape for the hoof. Add a couple of short lines across the shape to split the hoof in half. Use the line to the right as a guide to draw the other front leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Curve the lines to indicate the muscle structure and the joints. Make the bottom of the shape flat for the hoof. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Draw curved lines along the middle to create the joint. Draw a small square-like shape on the tip of the leg for the hoof. Use the long vertical line on the far left side as a guide to draw the hind leg. Just like with the front legs, first lightly sketch the shape of the hind leg around the guideline. Make the top of the leg slightly wider than the bottom. Use curved lines to indicate the joints. When you get the shape of the hind leg right, darken the lines. Draw a small round shape near the middle for the joint. At the bottom, draw a small square-like shape for the hoof. Split the hoof in half by drawing a short line across the middle. Use the angled line to the right as a guide to draw the other hind leg the same way. Lightly sketch the leg around the guide and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. Bend the shape near the top to indicate the joint. Draw a small square-like shape at the bottom for the hoof. A big part of this leg will be hidden behind the body. Above the head, make a small mark for the first part of the back. Extend the mark into a long curved line to create the hump on the back. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the line when you get the shape right. Now darken the outer edges of the initial guides to create the shape of the body. Don't overlap the front leg that's on this side of the body as you darken the underside. Between the front legs, draw a series of long curved lines for the loose skin on the chest. Draw the shape of the tail around the wavy line that's on the left side of the body. Use a series of short strokes for the hair on the tip of the tail. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. You don't have to erase all of the guidelines. It's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. Use a medium value across the entire body. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. To create light values, push down very lightly on your pencil. Then push down harder for dark values. Make a few areas darker to create shadows. Shadows will give the figure more dimension and volume. As you shade, use strokes that follow the shape of the body. Use a light value across the body to create highlights. Shade a few areas inside the head using a light value to emphasize the structure. Slowly and gradually add more value across the body. Add a few dark shadows on the legs to emphasize the muscle structure. Add a light value to the horns for shadows. Draw a cast shadow at the bottom using a medium value. Add a few small shapes and curved lines on the left side of the hind foot to emphasize the leg kicking back. Darken the final lines to emphasize the shapes. Shading can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the bull. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com for more tutorials. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.